Welcome back to the kitchen island. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make some delicious creamy chocolate coconut gummies that make for a great snack for yourself and if you have kiddos. First of all, you're going to want to bloom 1/3 cup of gelatin powder in 1 cup of coconut water in a separate bowl. And that just means that it is going to absorb all of that liquid and you'll see it just start to get a lot thicker and jelly-like in its texture. Glycine is a really wonderful amino acid that is great for gut health because it will help to strengthen your gut lining. And it is also just a really wonderful way to increase your protein intake throughout the day as well. Next up, you're going to want to get your canned coconut milk ready. Now sometimes the thicker part can separate from the liquid, so you might just need to use a fork to mix that together so that it isn't as separated. And you're going to want to warm 1 cup of that coconut milk with 2 cups of coconut water on the stove top. As those liquids are gently warming on the stove, you're going to add in 1/4 cup of cacao powder, a pinch of sea salt, about 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 2 optional add-ins are 2 tablespoons of collagen peptides and about 1 teaspoon of acerola powder. Now the reason that I add in the acerola powder is because cacao is a really great source of non-heme iron, and to better aid its absorption in the body, it is best paired with vitamin C, and acerola powder is a great form of that. Another little interesting thing to note is that vitamin C is actually involved in the process of making collagen in the body. So again, pairing that with the collagen peptides as well just helps it to be better utilized in the body for those processes too. If you don't have or you don't like using canned coconut milk, then you could also use a good quality cream instead. Now I really love juice-based gummy recipes, but what is really wonderful about these coconut milk and cream-based gummies is that it is a really wonderful source of nourishing fat. So that's going to really help you to feel a lot more satiated and full. You think about a lot of kids' snacks actually not being very rich in either protein or fats, just mainly carbohydrates, and so they tend to want to eat more and they're not really being satiated. And so these are a really wonderful source of good quality fats that will also help to prevent any blood sugar spikes as well. And that can be really wonderful for bedtime as well if you're looking for something to eat in the evening, especially because cacao is rich in magnesium, which is really supportive of sleep too. I also add in about 1 tablespoon of sweetener, so for this recipe I used agave nectar, but you could also use raw honey and maple syrup. Next, you're going to add in your bloomed gelatin into the warm liquid mixture, gently mix that and let it dissolve. Once the gelatin has dissolved and all of the additional items that you've added in have mixed together and incorporated well, you're going to want to transfer that to a glass container and store that in the fridge for a couple of hours to set. For this recipe, I had planned that there would be 1 creamy chocolate layer and then an additional layer that is a creamy cinnamon coconut layer. So the next part of this video will be showing you how to make that second layer. But I would recommend that you wait until the first layer has properly set before you prepare the mixture, because I did not do that. And so I did not end up with 2 separate layers. Because I'd already prepared the mixture, the first gelatin layer wasn't set, and so it all mixed together. For the second creamy coconut layer, you're going to bloom a 1/4 cup of gelatin powder in 1/2 cup of coconut water. And as that is blooming, you are going to want to warm 3/4 cup of coconut milk in a pan, and that should use up your entire can of coconut milk. I then add in 2 tablespoons of collagen peptides, which again is optional, and a pinch of cinnamon to this layer as well. Now, unlike me, if you had waited a couple of hours for your first layer to set, then you would be ready to pour on top your second layer and it would create 2 beautiful definitive layers. But I did not do that. It still tastes delicious nonetheless, it just mixed in all together. So once your first layer is set, you can then make and add on top this second layer and then put it back into the fridge to set for a couple more hours or overnight, and then it will be ready to cut into. Once the layers are fully set, you can cut into it and enjoy. Thank you for joining me at the kitchen island. Be sure to check out my other videos for nourishing recipe inspiration.